And welcome everybody to today's webcast about CA Application Management Services. Brandon Laun is going to take us through an overview explaining what it can do for you, specifically around your CA PPM installation. Before we get going, I just want to turn your attention down to the Q&A window, right-hand corner. If any questions surface as we go through the presentation today, don't hesitate to type them in there. We will address them at the end of the session. And with that, I hand it off to you, Brandon.
All right, thank you, Alf. All right. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time today here. We'll go ahead and get started. So with AMS, in the application economy, organizations face challenges to maintain and properly staff their technology portfolio as business requirements change and new software capabilities are needed. Extending maturity and driving solution value are vital to align IT and business outcomes. So some of these challenges that we see, right? Acquiring and retaining the right skills, knowledge to ensure operational efficiency and continuity. This comes with misaligned or constrained resources that get tied up in the day-to-day IT administration. Keeping CA PPM up to date with the latest releases and leveraging new software capabilities while enabling the user community. Ensuring low and predictable OpEx while keeping up with the new innovations and demands to extend PPM maturity, while at the same time driving innovation to support those strategic goals. This gives us opportunities, right? We can focus on increasing adoption to get the maximum value out of CA PPM. Increase the productivity to fully leverage resources for efficiency and to focus on the business while improving the return on your investment. So we discover, through this process with AMS, we discover how to map the solution capabilities in a collaborative fashion to identify how to provide the most business value out of your solution while maintaining a stable platform. This is a tech-validated survey performed by a third party. They surveyed the users of CA services in education. And as you can see from the survey, we frequently hear how critical solution adoption is to our customers. It makes the difference between a software investment, a success or failure. It's a significant challenge for customers, especially with the short window of opportunity a new implementation creates. Our focus isn't on not only on your success, but making sure that you get your solution implemented properly, but we're also taking that extra step in ensuring your organization's getting the full functionality out of CA PPM. We want to make you as successful as you can be, and we'll work with you to understand your organization, your business needs, and implement a strategy that fits. So with AMS, we provide a flexible engagement model to support and enable you to focus on what's important. This offering is available both for on-prem and SaaS solutions. And as you can see from the bottom here, we have the technical ops. It provides the assurance that we're operating on a stable platform. We're taking those day-to-day activities that are cumbersome off your plate. And you can consider this kind of your keep the lights on or traditional managed services. So we manage through KPIs. We have incident request management to meet the responsiveness that the business expects. We have flexible models on how we handle incidents as well. Pick up that admin work. We work on the upgrade. So if you're on-prem, we work with you on upgrade assistance. On SaaS, we provide guidance throughout the upgrade process to ensure that time for production, we have a stable platform to work on. We have premium content as part of the service. I'll touch more on that in a little bit. Learning as a service, LAS, is part of this offering as well. And at the heart, you have the technical services manager to manage that communication, provide that reporting, be your advocate into CA, and your single point of contact of accountability. And now that we have this foundation built, right, we work with you to establish a value-based roadmap. Through this value-based roadmap, we get a prioritized backlog of work that we work with architects to make sure that you're driving that maximum value and moving up your solution maturity curve. So the architects are part of the technical design authority to ensure that the right prioritized items are included in the backlog of work. Now, your backlog of work, this could include a new implementation, It could be, maybe there's a need for some integrations to reduce some of that manual overhead. You have content development, right? We could do reports, portlets, processes. And then education and knowledge transfer provide the right training at the right time to allow your staff to perform their job successfully and help ensure broad adoption across the organization. So our goal is to be your trusted advisor on your CA PPM solution. We know the importance and maturity, the adoption of CA PPM, and we want to be there to help guide you along that path. So with CA AMS, you have one vendor to go to for all your solution needs. We work with SaaS, product management, sales, support, engineering, all behind the scenes so you don't have to navigate those channels. We follow ITIL-based processes to deliver efficient services that meet the business needs while managing business risk and service disruption. We support business change while maintaining a stable service environment. And we have solution centers across the globe in North America, EMEA, APJ, to ensure a consistent presence. CA AMS provides access to a pool of resources. So as we all know in the CA PPM world, there is a need for some very specific expertise to support your solution. There's a functional component, and then there's a technical component. And even within the technical component, you've got reporting resources, gel scripting, SQL, integrations. And as part of AMS, there's no need to worry about ensuring that you have the appropriate skills within your organization to expand your solution footprint, since we have those resources available to meet your needs. While providing predictable costs, premium content included, which leads to, the predictable OpEx. And from a value perspective, it's increasing the footprint, increasing adoption. And from a ticket standpoint, it's not so much that we're focused on tickets, right? Tickets are great, gives us insights, but we take those insights and to determine how we can prevent a large bulk of those tickets from reoccurring. So we can leverage our full content and the premium content catalog to maybe reduce some of those manual activities. We prioritize the adoption against business objectives, which will deliver faster benefits. The customer experience and the adoption improves due to the ability to execute well against communicated prioritization. With active executive sponsorship support, it helps prioritize the work and ensure success. And our resources are constantly available to help assure that your key business drivers are our focus. As I mentioned, flexible resources depending on the location. We take on that responsibility to scale and reorganize against that demand and prioritization. We connect those outcomes to business objectives to optimize the solution value. Constant insight into delivery, execution, and success are provided via continual reporting. So you get that on a monthly and a quarterly basis, along with weekly, if required, weekly discussions and meetings. And from a spend per project, it's restructured to fixed monthly payments, but still transparent as the cost versus value of each delivered outcome. There's a lower spend on realizing outcomes while assuring success due to the regional resource availability, parallel work streams, efficient governance. And the tech ops ensures that there's that stable platform, which with a close working relationship with our customers helps mitigate risk. This is the customer responsibility comparison. So this is some of the items that without AMS, the customer you may be responsible for, on-prem or SaaS. With AMS on the right-hand side displays some of the activities that we can help reduce the day-to-day burden from your team. There's hybrid models of this as well. So you may have a level 1 team engaged, and then we only want the more complex tickets that come over to the AMS team. We can help provide that support. So from another view, these are functions at a more granular level for tech ops. Each one of these can differ depending on how our customers use a solution. We work with our customers to really understand those needs at the beginning of the engagement and throughout to make sure the business priorities align correctly. So, even for, you've got your technical services management managing the entire service, but maybe there's key critical incidents at the end of the month impacting your financial reporting, and we need to have heightened awareness, right? Those are key critical incidents. or there's particular requests that are specific to your business. And same thing for administration. Maybe there's some administrative tasks. There's a daily or weekly manual activity that needs to occur. We can take that up and provide those health checks to let you know that the environment's stable. So as I mentioned earlier, as part of CA AMS, you have access to premium content and the supplemental support that goes along with it. These as well are on-prem and SaaS approved and contain multiple integrations, adapters to help expand your CA PPM solution. So for instance, if you want to integrate timesheets with another system, there's a timesheet adapter for that. Data extraction, that's a very common one that I see as well, because there's an easy way to just take your SQL extract, you place it into data extraction. There's a GUI within the user interface that you can click and select your extract and download it. Or you can also extract that data to an SFTP site or other location for an integration to be picked up at a later date. So this is a large set of value added into the service that helps expand that footprint, and the possibilities are really endless with this access to the content. So in a Tech Validate survey, another survey from Tech Validate for CA AMS customers specifically, 82% confirmed that we helped increase the business value of their solutions. They went with our expertise, the cost, and the various service offerings that we have around AMS and how that can be tailored to you is their key drivers. And here are some additional customers that we've had, some success stories that we've had. So this is an Australian energy company. They required services from CA service experts to understand their implementation. It was complex as well. We were able to automate project management workflow, develop reports, which helped give key insights into their portfolio performance. They also, at this time, had some critical issues. So TechOps helped solve some of their more complex incidents. Up front, they had about 30 a quarter, and with AMS TechOps, we watched those trends, identified the key areas that needed to be addressed, and dropped them down to only 1 or less a quarter. So they've been very impressed and still maintain to be a very valuable partner of ours. A provincial transport agency, they purchased CA PPM and didn't believe they were getting the maximum value out of their solution. There wasn't really a defined roadmap in place, and the product was stalling. So AMS was engaged to provide the TechOps architectural guidance as part of the offering to help onboard and increase adoption. Resource challenges were also a concern. The team there at the customer site were overloaded and couldn't really provide the support that CA PPM needed. So the TechOps helped supplement that, while the architectural guidance and assistance as part of the adoption offering helped provide trainings, best practices, and guidance, as well as a roadmap and following the out-of-the-box capabilities. So they now use CA PPM as a single tool for all infrastructure, project, and portfolio management. They staff and tracking effort through time entry, and they leverage CA PPM for reporting and dashboards on budget and actuals. We had another global oil and gas company with a highly complex implementation, required on-site support to implement business-required enhancements to CA PPM. AMS was brought in to provide that support and follow best practices by doing so. The team there now views us as a trusted advisor because we help streamline their integrations, workflow processes, while providing guidance around best practices along the way. And so from a mapping perspective, these are the resources that we have. They're spanned across the globe. We have 4 regional solution centers that are also augmented by local field services. We have the experience. These are our products, our tools. PPM is ours. So we have the skills and expertise to help support you and drive that value. And they're all certified, and we have the 24/7 support as needed. And CA Application Management Services, we're committed to helping you provide tangible, measurable value to your enterprise. We don't just install the software. We want to listen, take the time, truly understand your needs, goals, and business drivers. We promise to consistently deliver a superior experience by putting our customers' organizations at the outcomes of the center of all that we do. And we promise to invest in building those long-term relationships, deliver innovative business outcomes, commit to each other's success. The ultimate measure of your success, though, is being that strategic partner with us. So you can count on fast time to value from your software investment as a trusted partner to help you achieve that business success. With that, I want to take the time and say thank you all for joining. And Alf, don't know if we want to open it up for questions.
Yes, thank you very much, Brandon. That was a great overview. We did get a couple of them, and the one that they want you to more less of a question, they want you to elaborate a little more on that timesheet validation on the premium content. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is perhaps one of my favorite premium content catalog items. So it provides it improves the accuracy of labor time entry. So when you're going in and entering in a timesheet, there's business rules and logic that can be applied. And it prevents users from submitting their timesheet unless those business rules are met. So let's see, for instance, let's say you had, okay, it comes with 11 business rules. I think it's 11. Need to double check on that. But some of the common validations would be like, don't exceed 24 hours in a day. Time entry should have a valid charge code, input type code, and they need to be met before the user can even submit their timesheet. So you don't have to go through these large approval processes after the fact. You've already got that up front. So it helps reduce those costs by decreasing the scope of errors in timesheet submitters.
Very good. Then when you, we're having some problem with our mute thing. I get muted in the middle of sentences. When you want to build a roadmap to go move forward, are there certain best practices how to establish a roadmap?
So as part of it, it's defining your business objectives, right? So what we do is we have an on-site objective or a meeting and sit down and meet with the customer, understand where their business wants to go, what's the business outcome. And then it can be tied back into a roadmap. So through part of these sessions, they can be pretty long. They could be like half a day to a day. But really drilling down into the maturity of the solution as well as how to tie that back into the application and drive the functional standpoint of the application from there. So it's really tied to business outcomes first, and then moving more towards the product, right? Because your maturity and the objectives of the business are the top priority, and then how the product can tailor to that comes after the fact. So we take that as part of that VRR session and then tie that back into an actual product roadmap in terms of how this is going to functionally tie into the product.
That's very good. And when you work with AMS, what's the average length of engagement there? 1 year, 2 years? Do we know?
Average is about 2 years, but from my own, my own experience, I've had customers for 5 years. It's an ongoing relationship, right? It continues to evolve and never ends.
As a more specific question, can you use an illustration, example of use ticket data to fix an ongoing issue or request?
Yeah, so I mean, a good one would be, so one of them could be, I had a customer in my case, that they had an extract that needed to go to finance on a regular cadence. If this did not go out, it was critical to their business. And the extract, I'm not sure who, somebody from the customer side had developed it, right? They did their best to develop that, but there was some challenges there. And it was airing out with some database connection errors, would run in like 4 to 8 hours, and then sometimes not complete successfully. So we saw this, and it was kind of sporadic at times, but we saw frequent incidents which we tied to a problem. As part of that problem, we looked into the code and determined that we needed to optimize that query. And so we did so, and that query went from 4 to 8 hours down to 20 minutes. To extract that. So, and there weren't any issues after that point. So that's one example, and I'll give you another one as well. That's fairly common, right? So with access to the premium content and architectural guidance and the content development, you have the resource adapter, right? So let's say you're getting a large number of tickets tied to creating new users. I had this case happen. One customer was spending 3 users just manually updating resource profiles, creating new users. They were also using the SaaS portal. So for those that are familiar with that, it's another layer of administration as well. And so we implemented the resource adapter to take an inbound feed from Oracle on a nightly basis, which ended up creating the users within the application, assigning access rights, creating the user in the portal, and continually updates their resource profile based on the cadence of this feed. And I believe they were running that once a night.
Very good. Take one more question, and that's around remote access. How do you deal with customers not being comfortable with giving remote access to their IT installation?
There's multiple ways. So if they're not comfortable, and I guess I probably want to take this offline to the extent of what it could be. So if there's a particular person, I'd like to get back with you on that, because there are options available. But usually it's not a challenge to get like a VPN account or get into a customer's environment. So if there are particular challenges, I'd be interested to hear those and see how
it's a case by case.
Yeah, it's a case-by-case scenario. So typically hasn't been an issue with maybe getting a VPN or access to a customer's environment. But if it is a case, we can always work with that case-by-case with the customer to see how we can best fit and meet their needs.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you taking the time and educating our customers about what you have to offer. If anyone have any additional questions that come up after this, we will post this recording online so you can share it with your colleagues, and that also gives you an opportunity to ask additional questions. So use the community pages to bring it up, because I'm sure you're not the only one to have that 1 or 2 questions. If not else, you know where to reach us and engage us with AMS. Until next month's webcast, take care, be safe. Bye-bye now.